Sir, are we good to start then?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Megha, can we begin?
Yes, ma'am. A very good morning to all. On behalf of the principal, staff, and students of Indian Language School, we welcome with open arms and hearts filled with gratitude, love, and respect our founder trustee and chairman committee of the Board of Trustees of Indian Language School, Mr. M.L. Lalchandani, our founder trustee and now an ex-trustee, Mr. J.T. Lalwani, one of our senior ex-trustee, Mr. D.S. Mirani, and our honorable past principals, Dr. Renu Maira, Dr. Suman Kanwar, and Mrs. Elizabeth Matthew to this memorable event as we mark the magnificent milestone of 40 years. I wish everyone a very happy Founders Day. Let us now take you all on a journey of fulfillment, accomplishment, and success, and live the past through the eyes of our reverend guests and create a connect between the glorious past and the flourishing future. Thank you.
Honorable and esteemed guests, we would begin this session and seek your permission to start the question answer session. May I now request Mr. M.L. Lalchandani sir to let us know how is the idea of starting a CBSE school in a foreign land conceptualized? Also, you would have faced many hardships during the inception of the school or while constructing the new building. Can you please throw some light on these obstacles that you had to face to get the school functional?
Sir, I would like to remove the word obstacles and hurdles. Very honestly speaking, by the grace of God, with your all support of each and everyone, we had no hardship and obstacles. Absolutely none. Community have been very cooperative. Therefore, I would not call this as an obstacle. These were down the memory lane. Actually, I would just say few lines down the memory lane of Indian Language School. First of all, congratulations to all of you who are present today and attending this virtual session, and those who could not on this occasion of 40th anniversary of ILS, which is today, the Baisakhi Day. Let me explain down the memory lane of ILS existence and formation. As you know, due to serious pressure of Indian community, elders, and influx of Indians in the 1970s on various job assignments in Nigeria, there was a huge amount of pressure on the High Commission of Lagos to start an Indian school in Nigeria so that younger children who are coming with families can go to the schools here, and after the finishing of the contract can proceed to any part of India so that they will be able to carry on with their studies. This is how the concept was given by the then High Commissioner of India, Sri K. Srinivasan, who was a High Commissioner. Later on, he became the Foreign Secretary. Then he became the Deputy General of Commonwealth. And unfortunately, they are both traveling, but you will hear soon from them. They call the meeting of the prominent Indians, just to mention few, sir. Chief Mr. Chandra, Mr. Chugani, Mr. Makejani, Mr. Lalwani, Mr. David, Mr. Chelarams, many others, and including myself and my dear friend, Mr. Mansukhani, late Mr. Mansukhani.
Mr. Chandaria also.
There is a series of lists. I'm so sorry that I'll be not able to list the names. All protocols observed. Please excuse me, forgive me. Otherwise, this will take it will take hours together, and I may not be able to do justice to everyone. Maybe I will miss those who will not be there, but they are all with us. They are all helped us. They all be with us in our mind and heart. It is then the several such meetings were held in High Commissioner's house
Can you please unmute Mr. Lalchandani? Hema, can we unmute Mr. Lalchandani? We cannot hear him.
Yeah.
I request everyone else to
Is
mute
it okay?
themselves. Yes, sir.
Okay. There were several such meetings held for almost 6 months to 1 year in High Commissioner's house, where all the elders and the reputed Indians were also present each time, sometime 20, 40, 50, 60. Then the High Commissioner was really happy that community is interested. At that particular time, I must inform you that private schools in Nigeria were banned. So therefore, only way was to start a school, to tell them that our school would start with language, our national language, Hindi, being the prime subject there. And with that conviction and their follow-up and their continuous follow-up of both Mr. Srinivasan and Brinda Srinivasan, along with us, along with all of us, they finally gave a approval to set up a primary school, but added the word language. That is why the school is called Indian Language School. Thereafter, not only Hindi, you must all know, the principals present here all know, we have several languages options to the children and students. This is how the ILS started. This is why we call Indian Language School the history. I would now like to read my small address. As I once again say that to me personally, there was no hardship or there was no any hiccups because of cooperation. Because of a cooperation of the school, cooperation of the board, cooperation of the trustees, cooperation of all the high commissioners present during the tenure of 40 years. Each and every one showed some some interest, including very laudable persons here. Some of them are not here, unfortunately. Some of them are here. Some of them must be listening to us. So, my dear, I would start. Esteemed Excellencies, High Commissioner of former High Commissioners to Nigeria in the last 40 years of existence of ILS, and many more previous ones years before the school started. Respected staff of the High Commission of Nigeria, past and present. My particular reference to His Excellency Sri K. Srinivasan and his wife Brinda Srinivasan, who had been instrumental in establishment and starting of ILS on the 14th of April 1982, 40 years back. Honorable Board of Trustees, current and all those earlier ones, as list of the members is very large, I would only say they are all welcome and they are all honorable. The highly respected all old principals, namely the first one, Dr. Mrs. Rani Upadhyay, Dr. Mrs. Mehra, who is present, Dr. Mrs. Suman Kanwar, and Dr. Mrs. Matthew. All earlier VPs, teaching staff and non-teaching staff. Mrs. Kanwar has been the longest serving principal of the Indian Language School, and gladly she is still the member of the board, she is trustee, and also the member of the committee of the Board of Trustees. Very distinguished presidents of the various associations, just to mention few, please, ICA, IWA, IPF, Sabha, and many more associations and organizations here in Lagos. Respected Deputy High Commissioner in Nigeria, Shri VSDL Surendra, and he is acting High Commissioner at the moment, and Shri Rachit Rawat, present today, and all diplomatic staffs in Abuja and Lagos, you are most welcome, sirs. Principal Madam Sonali and staff and all staff, it will be an endless list to personally honor their names. I wish and pray all protocols are observed. It's a very auspicious day in the history of ILS that school started on Vaisakhi Day on 14th of April 1982 with about 40 children from KG to grade 2 at 11 Johnson Street, which was used at that time as ICA Center. This center was transformed to a primary junior school for the required sections. Dr. Mrs. Rani Upadhyaya was appointed as the first principal with few other teaching and office staff. It was a great moment of joy and relief for Indian community, as it was quite difficult process for those children to go back to other schools in Lagos where admission was difficult. Indian community was relieved that families with children can come to Nigeria, as there was an affordable ILS school, ILS with Hindi being one of the languages subject which will be compulsory when they go back to India. Journey to start ILS was conceived by elders and prominent members of community, with the very first initiative taken by Mr. Srinivasan and his wife Binda Srinivasan, together with few of us, including myself. Very frankly, they took personal interest with our support, and we were successful to get permission to establish ILS after 1 year of follow-up. So in early 1982, interim board was formed by the High Commissioner, and a working management committee of 3 members was formed, namely Mrs. Brinda Srinivasan, late Mr. Mansukhani, and myself being the chairman of the management committee. We used to meet almost 3 to 4 times a week to organize proper primary school, and God was kind and we sailed through. As the Indian community watched running primary school from April 1982, there was a huge pressure again on the High Commissioner and the community and to Indian language school to add few more grades, at least up to grade 6. Once again, Indian High Commission and the committee agreed to the request of the parents and community, and in the same place, 11 Johnson Street, 8 more rooms were properly constructed by a reputed contractor to make arrangement for 8 more classes. Some more sections were added, some more additional facilities were also made. We had a huge compound there. Fortunately, we had a very good relationship with the then landlord of the 11 Johnson Street. We continued there for so many years, and finally 4 years back, we finally bought over that property. This property of 11 Johnson Street, where school was born, now belongs to ILS, where junior school is running. It will be with your cooperation, your best wishes, it will be one day transformed to a much better junior school. Anyway, we move on. Thereafter, the pressure built up. So in September 1982, in the same year, because at that time the school calendar year in Nigeria was September to June, junior school was started with about 200 students. And I want to inform you that right from that time, the school dues, or what you call as fees, were very minimal and affordable. We had dedicated teaching and non-teaching staff all along, who I must mention, particularly teaching staff, gave their full-time attention happily with meager remuneration. I would say it was not a remuneration. It was an honorary work compared to the salary structure prevalent in other schools. I would therefore like your applause and commendation for the past and present principals, VPs, and those staff who gave their best efforts for 40 years to bring ILS as it is today. May God bless them all and their families. ILS today has a reputation of being a very good CBSE school. Board results are being regarded as one of the best CBSE schools outside India. We have several achievement awards. Sonali might address in her brief. During 40 years, there have been vast developments in every sphere in Nigeria. It will be a full book to mention those achievements and progress made at the 40 years at ILS journey through these years. Community, parents, board and staff have always stood together and worked very harmoniously. Those of you who are here today have seen it all happening, and ILS will continue to progress and grow with your wishes. Honorable High Commissioners, diplomatic staff, board members, elders of Indian community, and all associations, Please accept my hearty congratulations and thanks on today's anniversary day. Please continue to render valuable contribution and advice. This will be of immense value to present administration of ILS under the leadership of Mrs. Sonali Gupta that will give her strength and encouragement. Our able committee, which is called Committee of Board of Trustees, has been a wonderful support in all spheres to ILS. Honestly, this is the main body which is overlooking the activities of the school. They are almost at beck and call whenever there is this, and it is a selfless service. I must thank Dr. Mrs. Kanwar, Mr. Srivasan, Mr. Savara, Mr. Piyush Garg, and Mr. Khaitan, who are presently the members of this co-board. Co-board is the part of the Board of Trustees. They are also trustees, but they are management committee called co-board. School had a viral PTA in the past and now. Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you very much, Ms. Kaur, the current vice chairperson, and we need the support. May I, in the end, stand up? May I, in the end, stand up and give my salutation to you all who have contributed towards the cause and existence of ILS in the last 40 years and will do so in future too. For we have ILS projects and agenda which could only be accomplished with your support and guidance. Long live Nigeria, long live India, long live ILS. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, the organizer, the orator, whatever. Thank you very much. Please move on. Nobody should feel. Please, we are in a good and happy mood. So please be sure that your school will flourish in days, years, and it will be in existence with the grace of God. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us. I would now like to request our present principal, Mrs. Sonali Gupta, to read the message of Mr. K. Krishnan, the then High Commissioner of India to Nigeria.
Thank you, Mayank. Good morning, everyone. I'm reading this message on behalf of Mr. Krishnan Srinivasan, the High Commissioner of India to Nigeria, 1980 to 1982. Mr. Srinivasan and his wife, Mrs. Vrinda Srinivasan, are in transit and hence unable to attend today's session due to connectivity issues. Dear Mrs. Gupta, it gave me great pleasure to receive your email and to know the original founders of the school have not been forgotten. It is my great hope that they never will be. I was the High Commissioner from 1980 to the end of 1982 and therefore played a pivotal and significant role in conceptualizing and implementing the founding of the school. Without the school, the Indian parents had to go cap in hand and beg from the few places that were there for decent education in Lagos. This was demeaning and demoralizing to us as Indians. Believe me, there were innumerable personal, institutional, and governmental obstacles to setting up the Indian school here, including from many so-called friends of India. But this is perhaps not the best occasion to relate to those adverse circumstances. I recall working closely with Mr. Lalchandani, Mr. Mansukhani, from the initial arrangements, including roaming around Lagos to decide on the plot of the land where the school would be started. I would like to pay my tribute to these two fine gentlemen. But in fact, the real inspiration for the school and arranging for the foundational contribution from the business community was done by my wife, Brinda, who was perfectly supported by the Indian Women Association. The other person who played a major part in getting the school off on a sound footing was the first principal, Dr. Mrs. Rani Upadhyay, whose inspiring role must never be forgotten. She was an absolute tower of calm, strength, and support. Most, if not all, Indian ambassadors can never leave behind any testament to the work they did as leaders of the Indian community in the places where they served the country. I have been truly privileged in knowing that the school my wife and I started has grown, flourished, and become not only a landmark in Nigeria, but also recognized as a premier scholarly institution far beyond Nigeria's borders, not least in India itself. The school has therefore rendered service to the Mother India and Nigeria as well. Brinda and I had the great pleasure of being invited to the school for its 25th anniversary. It was a memorable experience, and we would like to repeat it, perhaps in the cool season later this year, if the present board of the school is agreeable to facilitate such a visit. Later on, for obvious reasons, it may become increasingly difficult for us to travel. The school has become a prized institution for all those associated with it. May it long prosper and go from strength to strength. I have pleasure in sending my fond greetings and profound sense of appreciation to you as principal, the current and past boards of governors, all the previous principals and members of the staff and the students, their parents, and all those present at Indian Language School. Every one of you, singly or collectively, has performed inestimable service to the Indian community abroad and India itself and the international community of nations and people. Warm regards, Krishnan Srinivasan, former Foreign Secretary, former Commonwealth Deputy Secretary General, Kolkata. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Our next question is to our esteemed guest, Mr. J.T. Lalwani. Respected sir, the Indian community will forever be indebted to you for this step. Over the years, Indian Language School has seen a tremendous growth. Could you really see it coming this far at that point in time? Also, sir, could you please share your views on the various stages of growth that you have seen and the challenges that you have had to face?
Mrs. Hema Mohan, can we help Mr. J.T. Lalwani to please unmute? Okay.
I have asked him to, I've sent a request to him, ma'am, to unmute.
Okay. Maybe I can try to give him a call.
He has unmuted, ma'am.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. We can hear you well.
Yeah. The school, as I mentioned in my message to you, was initiated during my presidency of Indian ICA. I myself, as president, Lachanani as the secretary, and late Mr. Manchukani was the treasurer. We were the three responsible, and currently only myself and Mr. Lachanani are the surviving original trustees. We had many good ones, late prominent Indians. This was Mr. Srinivasan and Brinda Srinivasan. Brinda particularly was extremely responsible along with Mrs. Chandrai, who initially helped and guided us to run the school when we had only 40 odd children the first year. And the very second year, we had 400 children. Unfortunately, Mr. Manchukani, late Manchukani, passed away very soon. He was extremely instrumental in living very close to the school, like Mr. Lachanani also. And they were instrumental too in the day-to-day running. School at present at this height and has been a wonderful institution, landmark for the Indians in Lagos. And the number 11 Johnson Street, which was the center of ICA, which has been purchased now by ILS, will remain the monument, should be converted into a proper monument of ILS. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
My question is to Mr. Mirani, sir. Sir, late Mr. N.G. Patel, you and the other trustees had been the engine and the wheels to mobilize all required resources for the construction of the building at number 14/16, Obanale Arrow Avenue. We are grateful to you all who have been instrumental in bringing up this building. Sir, could you please share your memories of that time with us?
Hello, good morning to everybody. Thank you for your question. In fact, I became a trustee of a school few days later when I was also a president of Indian Cultural Association for about 10 years. And during that time, the building started. Thanks to the Indian community professionals in Nigeria, that one Mr. Cook, I don't remember his company's name now. He was working with hopefully a British company. And he helped us to make the required.
James Cubitt, Mr. Mirani, James Cubitt.
Yeah, okay. So that company, he did his job. But more than Mr. Suk, I remember one person, he was a Ceylonese, his name was Mr. Suthar. And I remember that when we started the building, from morning to evening, he would supervise that everything is going on as per the drawings, as per the things. We had made a small room where there was no even arrangement of water or tea or something like that. Later on, we made these arrangements. But I think it was a wonderful time. And more than that, it was a spirit of people and the people who are connected with this project that this building should be done. And even the contractor was a local contractor. He was his name was Mr. Raj. He was a Sindhi gentleman settled and in Nigeria. He was not well-known contractor in the city. So many people had doubts whether he will be able to perform or not. But we knew that most of the materials we are buying ourselves. We had the people from Chad who used to be supervising and surveying everything inside the school premises, that nothing is misplaced. That means it was a security which was not even speaking English. They would only say that, okay, this number of cement bags are there. They've used 10 bags. The remaining bags are there. So we started working in such a simple and straightforward way that it was I would say that a magnificent time of our life, that we were thinking that we are doing something for the Indian community. And later on, when the school was ready, I'm sure that everybody appreciated the building. And I would say there is no need. Mr. Patel's effort in this school, I would say that unparalleled. I think even if we will go for a cup of tea in his office, he will say that, Mirani, let's go back. Because my office was also in his office. So we used to be moved like a twin brothers. Wherever we go, we used to go together. And this is how we looked after the school. Many things, it is not only a building, but thereafter there were so many other things which was connected with the school. I think we were, in fact, like, I wouldn't say that what we were, but we were involved in almost all the things of the school. If anything would happen, Dr. Kanwar will phone us that this man has come, that man has come. Our office was only 5 minutes away. We will quickly run to the school and see that what is happening. And this is how the things went on. And it was a wonderful time. So God bless the school. And I really feel happy that our school's name in the universities in United States and England is so high that any student applying from Indian language school for admission in those schools, they are considered on high level because their past record in the universities and other things is so great. And this shows that our teachers, our principals, and many other things, we had a fantastic teacher who was a science teacher and a mathematics teacher. Later, that lady, I forgot Mr. Lalchandani, was know her name. She started a school in her house, but initially she was working with us, and we did a fantastic job. So we had a good staff, good people, and our school's name is fantastic. So God bless everybody. We have enjoyed our stay with the school, and in my old age still, I think of I celebrated my 85th birthday only 4 days ago. 9th April was my birthday. So I was remembering that if it was in Nigeria, would have been a good occasion for me to be with my friends and colleagues there. So good luck to everybody. And I would say that long live Indian Language School. And God bless the children, God bless the teachers, and God bless the trustees. Thank you.
Happy birthday to
Happy
you.
belated
On
birthday.
God bless you, sir. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much, sir. I actually want to use this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of, again, two important people linked to Indian Language School. Of course, one of our longest serving principal, Dr. Suman Kanwar, has already joined. And I'm really thankful to her. She just landed and she's on her way back home, and she's joined through sitting in a car. I also want to acknowledge the presence of Mr. A. Sivaram. So thank you so much for joining today's session, and we will continue further now. Mr. Sivaram, if you could just unmute yourself and say hello, and even ma'am, if you could just unmute for a second and just say hello or good morning to everyone.
Good day, everybody. Can you listen me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can. Good morning,
Yeah.
sir. How are you
Good
doing?
day, everybody. It's very nice of you to have organized this gathering, and great to see the old faces once again after a long time.
I will be inviting you, sir, a little later to say a few words. And
Okay.
ma'am, so good
Okay.
to see you.
Good morning, everyone. And
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Everyone who's present here. I cannot see the faces, but whoever is present here, congratulations to all of you.
Actually, I salute your spirit and enthusiasm for having joined us, even though you are still commuting. So we'll proceed on further, and I think we can give ma'am some time. We can ask her questions a little later, but I think we'd like to start with Dr. Myra now.
Yes, ma'am. May I please ask our esteemed guest, Dr. Renu Myra, ma'am? Please share your experience with us about the time when the CBSE chairperson visited the school. What were the strengths of the school that you were confident of, and the weaknesses which you might have been worried about?
Well, His Excellency, members of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Gupta, academic staff, and children, congratulations first and foremost for the 40 years that the school has achieved. It's a milestone. Yes, I took over in '84 when the school was just about class 8, and the board exam was to be held on for the 10th exam, this thing, for which it was imperative to get permission from the CBSE board. And an inspection from the chairman was a part of that program. Father Kununkel agreed to visit Nigeria. And I must congratulate the Board of Trustees, the teachers, the students who put up such a organized program as well as presented themselves in such a way that Father Kunankal enjoyed his trip to the Indian language school. He himself was a very holistic man. And we were very skeptical about the fact that he might raise some issues about the negativities or the weaknesses that would be there in a school in Lagos. But being a holistic man, he realized that how difficult it must have been to set up a school and to conduct the CBSE classes, and especially as our teachers were basically spouses of the husbands, the people who were working in Nigeria. They had not come in to take up jobs for the school. So we were very tense about it, yes, because without that approval, we would never have been able to hold the board exam. And he went back very happy and gave us a very good report. For which, because we needed his approval and the High Commission's support to get all our question papers, our answer sheets and everything through, so that the exam could be conducted. And then have the 11th and 12th, for which we had to set up laboratories, for which I think the industrialists, the academic staff, the non-academic staff put in so much of an effort to set up the industry, to the various for physics, chemistry, and biology labs. The Chanderias were a big asset in doing that. So it was a learning experience for all of us, but it went off very well.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing these wonderful experiences.
Mrs. Elizabeth Matthew, ma'am, you're a voracious reader and an excellent writer. Your one-liner anecdotes have been the highlight at ILS. In this digital world, the students have lost the connection of holding a book and reading. What are your views and suggestions on not letting this habit die out in our students?
His Excellency, Honorable Board of Trustees, Mrs. Myra and Mrs. Khandar, Mrs. Gupta, and everyone else, very good morning to you. I hope you can hear me. Is it clear? Can you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, fine. As far as reading goes, if we do not watch out, at least reading from a book will become a dying art over the years. But reading per se has not really died as such. Children still read on their Kindle books. They read books. But I think basically reading, the seeds of reading are sown at home. So parents, even if they don't like to read, can at least pretend to read, so children will pick up a book. And then once they're in school, I think the library is very, very important. Teachers should introduce children to books. Those who know, who enjoy reading. And I used to take like 50 books to class once a week and tell children about it, and that's enough. They will pick up books and enjoy reading. So that's what they can do. But I think first it begins at home with parents.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are grateful to you for sharing your views.
Respected Mr. M. L. Lalchandani, sir, the school has grown from strength to strength, and we are now the proud owners of several properties. Where do you envisage the school when we will be celebrating our Golden Jubilee?
Honestly, I'm very positive man. So I would always speak positive about the school and about Nigeria. Nigeria is a great country. It has given us everything. We have all flourished here. Many people have flourished in their lives. They have gone abroad. They've done better. Our students have done much better. We have done all the possible best for our school children. We have a couple of properties. I wish during these 10 years, first and foremost, we are putting up a project called ILS Junior School at number 8 Orameji Street, which is going to start in a couple of weeks. It's almost ready. Approvals are there. Groundbreaking ceremony may happen sometime even this month. The whole project is already approved by the board and already in progress. A famous contractor, SPNL, Shapunji Paranji Group, is taking the contract. We have TGI as our consultant, architects and valuers. They will be working on behalf of the school because the school has got own things to do every day. I would wish, after completing this project of 8 Orameji, which will house KG to grade 3, I wish, as Mr. Lalwani said, that number 11 Johnson Street may be turned into a sort of a memorial or museum or library and hall, and big hall for for assemblies and function, and maybe playground, maybe all indoor games to be housed there. So it's a very big plot, because coupled with 11, we have already bought number 43, which is joint, which is about 4,800 square meters, which is very big. We can have ground plus 3 now. So this will be again brought to ground zero and could be converted into such monument and such memorial thing for the Indian language school. Other buildings must be renovated in the next decade, as I said, as you say. They must provide all modern facilities, modern IT facilities. No student should be without the IT support. Our motto has been always there, that please, to all the students, the parents and teachers, that no student should be denied the admission. He should be supported. No student should be denied admission for want of financial support. We have a lot of scholarship fund. We have continued to, they are ready, corporations are ready to give. We have support for the IT also. We will give them. During this pandemic time, we give support to everybody for IT support, because all offline classes. So I see the next 10 years should be really a progressive 10 years. That is my wish, and I hope it will be. I may be there with you, I may not be there with you, but my blessings, my best wishes are with you, with the school staff, my fellow board members, my fellow trustees, and all the Indian community, parents and leaders. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for spreading this positivity among all of us.
Sorry, can you repeat?
So I thank you for spreading this positivity among all of us.
Thank you. Please carry on.
Thank you, sir. Sugandhika, I think Dr. Kanwar is already there. So can we start with her round of questions, please?
Definitely, ma'am. Dr. Mrs. Suman Kanwar, ma'am, you had an amazing journey that lasted 23 years as the principal of Indian Language School. It is the longest journey a school can think and dream of. You changed the face of the school and took the school to new heights. Can you please highlight this journey in the scholastic as well as post-scholastic areas?
Good morning, everyone. First of all, to sum up my journey of 23 years, I may need 23 minutes, but never mind, I'll try to take only 2 to 3 minutes. ILS is 40 years today. That is a big wow. Congratulations to His Excellency, the High Commissioner of India, to the members of Board of Trustees, both past and present, to the co-principals of the school, especially remembering late Dr. Rani Upadhyay, the founder principal of the school, to all the vice principals and senior office bearers of the staff, the teaching and non-teaching staff, the parents and the students past and present. It's unbelievable, but well, we made it. I remember having stepped into ILS when it was in its fledgling state. Our goal was always to provide a holistic and inclusive education. The fact that the number of students steadily grew from 700 to 800 when I joined and to 2,500 when I left, it proves that we must have been doing something right. Scholastically, we were experimenting and learning simultaneously. First of all, we had to ensure that proper skilled and trained teaching staff was available to handle our curriculum. Communication in those days with India or any other place was negligible. Hence, in-house training was put in place with skilled teachers and professionals who were being invited in those days to conduct teacher training workshops. We used to send our teachers to visit other schools, both Nigerian and international, like AIS, Xavier's, to understand and incorporate their teaching methods wherever necessary. This way, we made the best of both worlds in ILS. We were paying attention to children with special needs, and where professional help was not available to look after such children, we made use of mothers of such children who had undergone some basic training to handle their own children. Adult education, particularly English-speaking classes, were organized for mothers who sought help. We had differentiated learning that was started in Dr. Myra's time. I won't take credit for that. We had remedial teaching for the weak students. We had accelerated teaching for the good students. We had so much more. I can't even remember everything. In co-curricular activities, again, keeping in view the holistic development of the school, we had healthy academic competitions, debates, quizzes, science paper presentations, extempore speaking, poetry, recitation, everything possible under the sky. The highlight is that our students excelled in the International Maths Olympiad exams. And we had some of our students debating in the inter-school competitions and always came back winners. We even sent some of our debating teams to India to participate in things like INMUN assemblies, Model United Nations assemblies. In non-scholastic activities, we had fine arts, music, dance, drama. We had so many intra and inter-school competitions. And our students were always on top in various international art competitions. We were the major award winner in the annual music competitions held by Muson. You know, we used to encourage our children to go on stage so that they'll get rid of the stage fright. And our annual day celebration always had 100% participation of the students. Again, this tradition was initiated by Dr. Myra. In sports, we encourage activities like basketball, volleyball, table tennis, badminton, tennis, football, kho-kho, yoga. But I'm happy to say that by the end of my tenure, we had a mini sports arena, we had a swimming pool, we had a 5-a-side soccer field, we had badminton, table tennis, everything in that arena. Our sports day was held with 100% participation. Again, credit goes to Dr. Myra. She took the initiative. Basketball, tennis, and cricket participants, they traveled internationally for matches and brought laurels to the school. This is something which is praiseworthy. Our students were encouraged to help the less privileged in society through the Students' Council and youth wing of the Rotaract Club. They also developed management and leadership skills, being members of elected student government, various committees, clubs. We had a whole lot of clubs and committees. They were planning and conducting Children's Day and other school days. They were taking care of the school magazine, student newspaper, newsletter. All this was done by the students themselves. Too many to recount for me, actually. We had a Green Brigade, which created awareness about the environment. Student career guidance counselors were introduced for guiding children choose a university or plan a career after school. On one side, we had professionals coming to conduct career guidance sessions, but at the same time, what I want to highlight here is that once a student had decided on a chosen field, we would attach him to an ex-student of ours who was doing well in the same field. And that did wonders. Our ex-students were happy helping out, and our students were happy taking help from our ex-students. There are so many things I may have forgotten. We tried our best to cover a lot of activities. We tried our best to see that our results were on top. We were getting 100% in so many different subjects. I don't know. We did everything possible that we could in those days. Does that answer your question?
Thank you, ma'am. It was indeed a fantastic journey. Dr. Renu Maira, ma'am, may I please ask you, what was the biggest challenge faced by teachers during your tenure? What were the strategies used to empower your teachers so that they could impart quality education despite being in a distant continent?
Yes, this was the biggest challenge that we had as far as teachers were concerned, because we were so new. Teachers were being employed, and many of them did have some experience of CBSE, while others did not, but they had qualifications. And it was a big effort to induct them into these systems and to the CBSE system, because the CBSE system was a little harsh system and a difficult system. The NCERT books were difficult to follow for some, and especially the children. They were not used to the Hindi of the CBSE, which was quite a challenge for many of them. And not only challenge for them, but for the parents too. And so I would give credit to every teacher of that time who put in all their effort to see to it that we never failed in our role in giving the right form of education, the right support, the right guidance that was there. And our board of trustees, Mr. Lalchandani, was there every other day in the school. If there was any problem, he was there to work it out. Our high commissioners were always there. But the teachers, I think, did a tremendous job. And our non-academic staff too were a big support, because we had in the smaller classes nannies who were there to support, to see to it that the young children were looked after. And there was such a coordination that was there amongst the teachers and the non-academic, that it was like a family. And with the teachers too, we had a family. We used to have weekly meetings on subjects and how to conduct certain issues. And there was always a open book, one could discuss anything whatsoever. So I think it was a very holistic approach that all the teachers had and the community had as far as the school was concerned.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Mrs. Elizabeth Matthew, ma'am. When dealing with students, at what point is it appropriate to involve parents? How can the school support the parents in helping students succeed in school and even at home?
Well, as far as discipline is concerned, it depends on what the child has done wrong. It should be first dealt with the teacher, and if that's not possible, taken to the vice principal, and it gets more serious, and in consultation with the principal, maybe the parents can be called. Because it's not a good idea unless it is something that is going to really be very harmful for the child if he doesn't stop. But the parents could be told, or in the next parent-teachers meeting, they could be briefed on it so that they are aware. But I think as far as disciplining the child goes, children are very sensitive. So it is better to start at a low grade rather than to call the parents immediately. And actually, parental involvement in education is extremely important. So I do think that parents should be involved from the beginning. At the beginning of the year, perhaps, during the first term, the class teacher should make it a point to meet personally every parent and get an idea about the child at home. So both parents and teachers together are able to mold the child, because sometimes there is contradiction and that affects the child. And also, I feel counselors are a must in schools, and not just one counselor. There should be at least 3 for each level, so that many of these problems can be dealt with at that level as well.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this valuable inputs.
Respected Dr. Suman Kanwar ma'am, name it, every type of sport, every co-curricular activity that was possible was introduced during your tenure. Incorporation of the work experience classes, educational excursions, purchase and expansion of property was also achieved. Being a visionary, you would have envisioned Indian language school at 40. Ma'am, do you think it has reached there? Also, could you please share your views on the current plan, the pattern, hybrid learning of teaching?
See, digital and smart classroom in ILS, they were introduced in a very small way at a very early stage. But I definitely wanted an advanced digital school by the time I retired. I think the pandemic fast-tracked it. And we now proudly see a digital online learning system in place as specified by CBSE and enforced by Sonali and her team. Though we have achieved a lot, but I feel learning is a journey. It's not a destination. We continue to grow and evolve. We continue to learn, unlearn, and relearn. As far as hybrid education is concerned, I'm not a big fan of hybrid education. I believe in face-to-face learning. So that a hybrid is not for me. Yes, we have come a long way in the 40 years of the ILS journey. But at the same time, an education system and needs being dynamic, changes right from the early years in school have to be continuously put in place, which I think ILS is doing and is doing a wonderful job. Congratulations to Team ILS. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your views with us, ma'am.
Can we move on further?
Yes,
ma'am. May I now invite the Acting High Commissioner of India to Nigeria and Head of Chancery, Sri VDSL Surendra, to please say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Megha. Founder trustees, Mr. M.L. Lalchandani, J.T. Ralwani, ex-trustees, Mr. D.S. Mirani, present trustees, past principals, Dr. Renu Myra, Dr. Suman Kanwar, Elizabeth Matthew, present principal, Ms. Sonali Gupta. Very warm welcome to you all to the 40th anniversary celebration of Founders Day of Indian Language School, Lagos. Truly a pleasure to be such august and distinguished company. Again, a very warm Vaisakhi greetings to all of you, and happy Ambedkar Jayanti greetings also to all of you. was a really very enlightening to listen to all these founders and past principals narrating the various successes they had in the last 40 years. I mean, we are celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, India at 75, the various successes we have achieved. But I think the story of ILS at 40 is more or less an inspiring story. I mean, and I really love the attitude of Mr. M.L. Lalchandani. He objected to the term obstacles, and there are no obstacles, something just has to be done. And in line with the Nike motto, just do it. And I think that was the spirit behind the team ILS, and hearty congratulations to all of them, past, present, who have made this possible. And right now, I would like to really place on record on behalf of the High Commission, the school's tremendous achievement, of course, academically. We heard Mr. Bhutani saying that even in the US and UK, standing of ILS Lagos is one of the finest globally. And ILS Lagos stands up as a symbol, I should say, it's a jewel in the crown of India's education success abroad. And this is to be replicated everywhere. In fact, I was thinking for the 50th anniversary, this should be truly a global event with participation of very high levels from even the Indian government also, because this is truly an inspiring, what should we say, an example for all future educational institutions trying to establish themselves abroad. And we have seen that global recognition that even an IIT JEE exam center has been approved for ILS Lagos in recent years. That is truly a very notable achievement globally. And we see that the school has been supporting the High Commission also. I mean, we were hearing a lot of accolades about what the High Commissioner has done, especially former Foreign Secretary, Mr. K. Vasan. But the school has also been supporting the High Commission, educational and cultural outreach, participating in the Pariksha Pe Charcha of Honorable Prime Minister Modi, participating in the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav quiz competitions. You are our true ambassadors of India's educational and cultural success abroad, and the High Commission is with you, which strongly support ILS Lagos. And I would like to place on record my special appreciation for Madam Sonali Gupta. She has always been very responsive and true support to the High Commission, and it's a pleasure working with her. And like I said, we now plan for the next 50th anniversary of ILS Lagos. Plan our celebrations on a much larger scale. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all the support, sir.
Mr. J.T. Lalwani, sir, may I please ask you this question? Most of us did not have the opportunity of being part of the school during late Dr. Mrs. Rani Upadhyay's tenure as a principal. Could you please share some memories of her and the notable events that happened during that period?
Hima, could you please help us to prompt
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am, I
Lalwani,
have
sir?
sent a
Okay.
Ma'am, I think network, I think his network is not supporting him, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. We can move on to the next question, and I will try to do a personal call and ask him. Please, let's move on to the next question.
Mr. Mirani, sir, may I please ask you this question? What was your vision for the school when you joined as a trustee, and which decisions made by the Board of Trustees do you still remember, and how were they significant?
Sir, you have to unmute, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, we can hear you now.
Over a long journey, there were so many things. And at this age, it is very difficult for me to bring out some past things. But I would say that the trustees of Indian Language School were a unique team. And Mr. Lalchandani, myself, Mr. Jogender, and few other, we were managing trustees of the school. And in each and every affair of the school, be it education, be it anything else, I think we used to discuss it along with the principal. The decisions were taken. So I would say that the journey was pleasant, and there were so many problems in Nigeria. As you see that it's a wonderful country. I would say I have lived 55 years in Nigeria, and I had enjoyed I have grown from a young man to a old person in Nigeria, and my journey was also wonderful. But I would say that the journey of the school was equally wonderful. And we did school. The Indian children should get the best. So our stress was only on the quality of education, the modest fees, and only regret I am having that we could not provide a big space for sports. Because the way we started our school, Mr. Lalchandani has already explained, we could not provide any grounds where you can outdoor sports can be done. But otherwise, I think minus outdoor sports, everything else was provided. And you can see that our school is in little hubs. In Ilupeju, you will see that there are 4 factors where children are taking their education in different places. But I still feel that it is in the same area. The other thing I would remember at this moment was the neighbors in the school were having a critical complaints for our drivers, that when the school will open, the drivers will come and park and block the entire street. And our situation during that period used to be very, very intense, tough, and very difficult to satisfy the neighbors. But I think all the trustees has personal relations with the people in the neighborhood, and we try to that the school runs, because most of the children were coming with the drivers, and drivers would not listen. You tell them to park in the side, do this, do that way. I'm sure that these things may still be happening, but these are one of the things we cannot provide it. Otherwise, I would say that in the circumstances, best things were done by best people. And I'm very thankful to all my friends and colleagues that we succeeded in doing what best we could do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your enriching words. Mr. J.T. Lalwani, sir, may I please ask you this question? Most of us did not have the opportunity of being part of the school during late Dr. Mrs. Rani Upadhyay's tenure as a principal. Could you please share some memories of her and the notable events that happened during that period?
Sir, you have to unmute, sir. Sir, kindly unmute.
Hello, everybody can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me
We
now?
can hear you, sir. Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yeah. I must commend all the properties that we have in the school are mainly due to Mr. Birani and late Mr. Patel. Their most important role in selecting, finding, negotiating, acquiring them. Number one. Number two, without Mr. Lalchandani's efforts, tirelessly working every day, looking after the affairs of the school, the principals, the construction, development of the school, institutions, everything. He has been the most significant factor all the 40 years. Many principals have come and gone and were wonderful. All of the principals that we have had a wonderful job. Our school had the entire, from the local housewives, not a single professional person brought from India. Everyone was locally elected, found, and assessed by the humanity with Mr. Lalchandani at the top of the time. So thanks to him, the school will always remain indebted to him. There is no doubt. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
We really appreciate your work.
Can I now please Yeah, thank you, Sugandhika. May I use this opportunity to invite someone very, very esteemed for us, and that is Mr. A. Sivaram. Please, if you could share briefly your journey or talk about Indian Language School and your contributions at Indian Language School. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sonali. I remember having gone to the school first time sometime in mid-80s. And when I left, end of 2011, it was a great change for me to see from what it was, and it was when I left. And I must confess that my friends like Mr. Lalchandani, Mr. Mirani, late Mr. Patel, Mr. Lalwani, and some of us really deliberated as to best how we could improve not only the studies, but the environment in the schools. There were so many other regulations which we had to comply with, and we did our best to see that we are not embarrassed by people, local authorities or government authorities coming and trying to make things difficult for us. I think that was the most important thing for us. Then it gives a piece of mind for the principal and the teachers to work in harmony. I'm very happy to see that the school has grown so much, and thanks to Sonali, I still keep myself informed as to the results of the school. Thank you so much. Mr. Mirani, Mr. Lalchandani, all of them have already explained the circumstance in which the school was brought up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. May I just now request upon Mr. Srivatsan to please say a few words. Mr. Srivatsan.
Thank you, Sonali. Yeah, thank you, Sonali. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay. Good morning, His Excellency, the Acting High Commissioner, and Mr. Lalchandani, Mr. Lalwani, Mr. Mirani, nice to see you after such a long time. And all the past trustees, the past principals, and the current trustees, my trustee colleagues, and the students. My journey with ILS as a trustee started around about 2003, 2004, early 2004, I think. And it's almost 20 years. So when I joined the board, the school had just completed the 20-year mark, and then we were the big signature event we were discussed in my first board meeting, I remember, was Silver Jubilee celebration. And we did in a very grand scale, and we could get Mr. Srinivasan, the founding High Commissioner, the former Foreign Secretary, the former principals to Lagos, for that event. And we had a, that was one gala event we did befitting ILS stature. But if I really look back, and I've been associated with Nigeria and even more, the more of an African basis in Africa for the last 30 years. If I really have to look for comparables for ILS, just not in the Indian education institution, I really don't find really any. I will struggle to find anything, definitely not in Africa. And if I were to really look at, talk to my friends in Delhi, the Ministry of Education and all, ILS definitely is, as the High Commissioner said, it's a crown, jewel in the crown, and it's a premier institution. What started as predominantly a primary school providing some education for the Indian community, today has grown as a formidable institution, a premier institution, and that's the credit should go to all the stakeholders. It's the teaching, non-teaching, the students, more importantly, the parents, and all the past principals, past board. I think that is really, very, very gratifying, I'm sure, to all who are involved in that journey. As Dr. Kanwar said, the journey is still continuing, and I'm sure the Golden Jubilee is around the corner in 10 years' time, and we would be having a global event, as the High Commissioner said. But some of the key uniqueness I just want to highlight. I can't remember an educational institution which has got such a liberal admission policy, still churning out stellar results year after year, anywhere in the world. And I'm sure all of you can appreciate what I'm saying, given the uniqueness in Lagos and the Nigeria, the environment. Our ILS admission policy is fairly open, liberal. But when it comes to results, it doesn't stand second to none. And that really goes, the credit goes to the teaching and the students, how we could really, produce year after year. It's not just 1 year, 2 year phenomena. And in the last 2 years, we, during the difficult times in pandemic, the school has completely turned into a digital world. And some of the corporates like us envy, because I know where ILS was just 2.5 years back. On the basic IT, and today where it is, and you get the e-magazines and this one, it's a phenomenal transformation. So again, the credit should go to Sonali and the entire team and the students, and the way they speed with which they adopted the change, and then they risen up to the occasion was phenomenal. Education per se is changing. And ILS is, of course, changing with this one, but we should really continue to reimagine, innovate, and really produce or make out great leaders of the future. And I wish ILS all the very best for the years and years to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Can I now request Mr. Rahul Savara to please say a few words?
Good morning, Acting High Commissioner. Good morning, Mr. Lalchandani, Chairman, Board of Trustees, former trustees, and my present colleague trustees, former principals, and Mrs. Sonali Gupta, the vice principals, and all teachers, non-teaching staff. So it is a very, very exciting day today. We are now clocked the 40th anniversary. And as they say, probably a strong foundation builds a strong institution. Of course, the founding fathers laid such a fantastic foundation for the Indian language school that it continues to be the envy of all institutions where under the Indian academia. And I have been fortunate to be part of the Indian language school in its very early years. In 1985, when I came to Nigeria, within the first few months, my former school principal, Father Kunankal, came for a visit. And I was so excited to meet him here, and so was he. And that is where the journey started. My children went through the school, all of them doing brilliantly well, and some of my colleagues have mentioned earlier on also that the students coming out of the Indian language school are attending the best further or higher learning institutions across the world, and they are second to none. And despite all the challenges which we claim as the business houses, and of course we go to so many panels and talk about so many things, why life is so difficult in Nigeria and business is so difficult. The Indian language school and this faculty have shown tremendous resilience and tremendous innovation skills to be able to overcome all those challenges and build this into an institution where we have had nearly 2,000 children studying in the school. So congratulations to each one of all of us, really, and a big gratitude, of course, to the High Commission of India, which has always stood with the Indian language school throughout. And the authorities have also been very, very supportive. The trustees are amazing. The non-teaching staff are amazing. And congratulations, wish everybody the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for those encouraging words, sir. I think we have one last question for Dr. Mrs. Suman Kanwar. Can I just request the students to ask that last question, and then we are almost coming to the end of the program.
Yes, ma'am. May I please ask my next question? Dr. Suman Kanwar, ma'am, have we ever analyzed the possibility of having an additional curriculum along with the CBSE? As we clearly see the emphasis on competency-based education and skill development, even by the Ministry of Education and CBSE themselves.
Yes, we did think of introducing a parallel curriculum, especially the IB.
We lost someone.
Hema, can we just prompt ma'am, just in case?
The audio is on unmute, ma'am, but we are not hearing.
Okay, maybe it's the connectivity issue.
Australia.
We will come back to her question. Can I just request Mrs. Sushila Swami, if she's there? Mrs. Sushila Swami, if you are there, if you could see her, please unmute yourself and say a few words. Mrs. Sushila Swami, if you're still there.
Yes, I'm here, and I cannot be happier than anybody else to see the school now reaching its 40th anniversary. I mean, I remember going to the 10th, the 20th, the 30th, and now I'm here congratulating the school on its 40th. I mean, it's such a big milestone. It's so awesome that we have reached that. And I know what a journey it has been from the time I've been there till I left. I've seen its growth through all the stages, you know, with the growth in the number of students and the support of the teachers and of course the board of trustees and the High Commission. It's been a beautiful journey. And more importantly, I would like to say that, you know, now I'm in touch with so many of the alumni across the world. And in every field I can see, and we have made a mark. You have the best of people in probably right from doctors and engineers, and you have entrepreneurs, and you have people who are there in music world, made a mark in music and drama, even priests, and in Bollywood and almost everything. So, and they've all done so well, and they attribute a lot of their success to the grounding they got from ILS. So ILS has been such an important link. It's so unique because we are so far removed from India and so uniquely situated between the West and the East. And I think we have got the best of both worlds. Children with all the exposure, with the Nigerian exposure, and, you know, the Nigerian factor plays a very big important in our growth of the school. We have come a long way and we have done so much. So it's such a proud feeling I have to see our school reach this mark. And yes, I've seen so many stages of the school going from a small school to, you know, the school building, and we had so many small hurdles to take care of. And now it's gone fully digital. It's like, wow. You know, I mean, the school is like on par. I think a lot of the international schools were in envy of ILS for the way they were handling themselves during the pandemic. So that's the kind of mark we have reached and name we have earned. So I think it's congratulations to every one of you, every one of us, the board of trustees and the staff, all the principals and the students and Nigerian staff and everyone. I mean, the non-teaching, administrative, and all the support staff around. Everyone has made a mark, and parents too, for that matter. I think we are really proud to have reached this, and congratulations, Team ILS. I'm so happy for you all, and I hope I'm there around to see it go to the next 50th anniversary too. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mrs. Swami. I think now Mrs. Kanwar is back again and has connected. Ma'am, if you could just complete that question that we had asked. Dr. Kanwar, are you back?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
No, I just wanted to add something to what Sushila said and what Mr. Mirani mentioned, that I used to receive thank you mails from the deans of certain universities in those days. And they used to thank me for the caliber of students that ILS was sending there. I just wanted to mention it to all of you. And once again, congratulations to all of you. And my message to the present lot of students, guys, keep the ILS flag flying high. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll forever remember that ILS has and always will keep on flying high. Thank you so much, ma'am, for that. I see one of our very old student, Mrs. Heer Savlani here, and I think she'll be the last speaker. I'd like to invite Mrs. Heer Savlani, if you are there. Can you please unmute yourself and please say a few words? And do let everyone know what year you passed out of Indian Language School. Thank you, Mrs. Heer Savlani.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for the honor for letting me speak today on this great event. I'm so glad to be a part of ILS. I always call ILS my second home, and all the teachers, principal, everyone is like my second mom. And today, I believe what I am is all because of ILS, because of everything that ILS inculcated inside me. I finished ILS I passed out of grade 10, grade 11 from ILS in 1995. I had to do my grade 12 in India because of some personal circumstances. But whatever I learned in ILS, I always remember so many things from ILS that helped me pay. Today, I'm an HR in an Indian company in Lagos. My daughter also studies in ILS. She's in the final year of school now, grade 12. But I must say, I want to congratulate ILS for completing 40 years and so privileged to be a part of ILS.
Thank you so much, Heer Savlani. We really appreciate the words that you said.
Thank you. Good luck. Good luck to everyone.
I would now like to request our present principal, Mrs. Sonali Gupta, to propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Mayank. Honorable Acting High Commissioner of India to Nigeria and Head of Chancery, Shri V.S.D.L. Surendra, esteemed Founder Trustee, Mr. M.L. Lalchandani and Mr. J.T. Lalwani, our ex-trustee, Mr. D.S. Mirani, the very respected past principals, Dr. Renu Maira, Dr. Suman Kanwar, and Mrs. Elizabeth Matthew, present members of the Board of Trustees of Indian Language School, other distinguished guests, old and present teachers, non-teaching staff, old and present students, a very good afternoon to you all. It is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this memorable occasion on behalf of the staff and students of Indian Language School. I would like to thank our distinguished guests for sparing their valuable time, for being with us and gracing the event. It was indeed a memorable session in which not only did we relive the journey of becoming of Indian Language School through the reminiscences and memories, but made a strong connection with our past on which we stand strong and tall. We're indeed grateful that your vision of starting an Indian school in Lagos is ensuring that families stay together, students receive quality Indian education, and also remain connected with their roots. Thousands of Indians have benefited from the same and will continue to. We once again thank you for re-establishing our firm belief in the fact that sky is not the limit if your heart is in it. For when you do something with all your heart, it certainly happens. Thank you, everyone, and namaste to everyone.